Well, hello, welcome to another episode of Jim's Allotment Garden. Okay, so today's episode is all about putting in fences, and there's a really easy product to put it in. Obviously, when you're putting a post in the ground, what you want to do is make sure that it's all secured and everything in the ground. And the way to do that is basically to concrete it into the ground. Now, there's a really easy product out on the market called postcrete, and this is made by Blue Circle, which is part of the Tarmac group. And I've used this product before, and it's really easy because there's no mixing involved. I don't know if you've ever fitted a fence or anything like that, but all the hard work is, apart from digging the hole, is mixing the concrete and mixing enough to get in there and put it into the hole and everything. So the way to do this, all you basically need to do is dig the hole for the post. Now, when you put a post in the ground, what you want to do is you want to put about 25% of the length of the post in the ground. So for example, if you've got a 6-foot fence, you want 8-foot posts, so basically 2 foot of the post is in the ground. So I'm going to be fitting a 6-foot fence today, which is most of the fences you'll be fitting. Obviously, if you've got a 6-foot fence, then obviously you'll need less than that. You'll probably need about 18 inches or so, a foot to 18 inches of it actually in the ground. But basically, all you need to do is dig a hole in the ground, a foot by a foot, so that's 30 centimetres or 12 inches by 12 inches square, and then you need to go down 2 foot. So basically you're burying 2 foot of the post. So 60 centimetres 2 foot down by a foot wide, 30 centimetres wide by 30 centimetres wide, or a foot wide square, and dig that hole. And then obviously dig that hole where you need the post. Put the post in the ground and make sure that it's all level and that it's at the right height for the for the panel that you fit into it. Obviously, if the hole If the post is too high, obviously you need to dig a bit more out. If it's too low, obviously you need to put a little bit something back in just to bring it up a bit whilst the concrete's set in. As soon as you've done that, all you need to do with this postcrete product is fill the hole with water to a third of its height, which is normally obviously dependent on the size of your hole. It's normally sort of a bucket and a half or so of water. And as soon as the hole's a third high, so basically what you'll end up with is sort of 9 inches of depth of water at the bottom. All you need to do then is pour in the postcrete, which is the dry mix. So what you need to do is get the hole ready, cut your 2 bags of postcrete, which is typically what you need for one post. Cut 2 bags of postcrete ready to pour in, and then fill the hole with to a third of its height of water, and then all you need to do then is just pour in the contents of the bag, which is dry. Now, as that hits the water, obviously it'll all go down and fill the hole, and you'll find that as the hole fills, as you're filling it, sprinkle it round. As you're filling the hole, basically the water will then permeate through the mixture, and then what you should end up with at the top is like a dry dusting of the postcrete compound, and that's to show that you've used all of the water, so you haven't got too much water. If the surface of it is still a little bit wet, what you need to do is sprinkle a bit more on. So it's always an idea to have a little bit more than perhaps you think you need, and then as soon as you've filled the hole, obviously you've already got the post level and in the position you want it to be. Literally within about 2 minutes, the postcrete is set. And most certainly within sort of 20 minutes, you'll then be able to put the panels in and all the rest of it. So if you imagine you get the post all ready, all set and all level, right height and all the rest of it, because as soon as you put the postcrete in, it's going to start going off really quickly. You've literally got about 2 minutes. Pour your water in, As soon as you pour the water in, then to a third of the height of the hole, and then pour in the contents of the 2 bags until it gets to the top. You might need to just whisk it round a little bit at the top just to make sure that it's all in at the top, just make sure it's all covered. And then what you should end up with is a bit of the powder at the top, which means basically you've used all the water up. Now, dependent on your ground type, if you've got particularly sort of sandy soil, or you've got you know, sort of quite dry soil, what you can find is the water will drain, you know, sort of drain away. So what you need to do is obviously you need to make sure you've got enough water there for the product to work, and obviously it's the water that makes it, you know, which causes the reaction within the postcrete to work and for it to set. So what you may need to do is put a little bit more water, or a little bit less, but what you need to do is basically pour the water in. What I would suggest you do is pour the water in to a third of the height of the hole. If you find that the water levels dropping, i.e. it's seeping into the ground, what you need to do is obviously put a little bit more water in. And if it is seeping quite quickly, what I would do is just keep pouring water in for a few minutes until the level starts to sort of settle, and it's not sort of dropping quickly. And then if it is still dropping slightly, just put a little bit more water in, and then start putting your postcrete in. As soon as the postcrete goes in there and it starts to react, obviously then the water's in the postcrete, and then you'll be okay. So postcrete's a really good product. It's not it is suitable for posts, obviously, and for washing lines and stuff like that. It's perfectly good for that. It is quite a strong product, but I would most certainly recommend, if you're going to hang like a 2.5 metre wide gate off a post, then I would most certainly use more traditional concrete. So, you know, sort of ballast sand mix and cement and mix it up yourself, because then that'll be stronger. Postcrete is a strong product, but it's not you know, it's not as strong as sort of traditional concrete. But most certainly for sort of 6-foot fence posts or washing line posts, anything like that, it's a fantastic product. And you don't need, you know, it really is labour saving. All you need to do is dig the hole, fill the hole with water, and then pour the bag into the hole, and that's it. The job's done. Okay, so here's the bag you need to be looking for. So it's postcrete, obviously ready to use. Sets post within 5 to 10 minutes. Saving your time, just add water, no mixing required. And basically this bag's waterproof, so obviously you can store these outside. You don't need to worry about them getting wet before you use it. So the other tip that I will say is is when you pour the water in the hole to get it a third full, if the water is draining away quite quickly, what you can do is, if you get like a black bin liner or something like that, you can actually line the hole with the bin liner just to hold the water in there whilst the concrete gets poured in. Obviously that'll stay in there once the concrete's in there, but that's another tip for you. But so I'll show you the fence going in now. Okay, so there's the hole. As you can see, it's roughly a foot square. It's actually slightly smaller, and if you can get it smaller, that's even better. But sort of optimally, I'd say sort of 30 centimetres by 30 centimetres, and that's about 2 foot deep. Now I haven't measured it against the post yet, so what I'll do is I'll now try the post, and obviously if it's a little bit too deep, I'll put a little bit back in there just at the bottom, just to pack it, to bring it up a little bit. And if the post is too high, obviously I'll dig it a little bit deeper. But the point I wanted to make was, when you dig in the hole, try to disturb the soil around here the least amount as possible, because obviously what you want that to be is compact as possible. So when you fill it with concrete, the concrete's not going to move as it after it's set. So you want the soil to be nice and firm all the way around, and obviously you need to be going down around 2 foot. Okay, so as soon as you've got your post in there, obviously 3 essential bits of kit that you need at the moment, because as soon as you start concreting, you're committed. What you need to have is just a little trowel just to smooth the top off if you need to. Stanley knife, obviously if you need to open more bags. I've got 2 bags open ready to go in already. And obviously a spirit level. Now with the spirit level, what you need to do is, you're doing 2 things at the same time. I've got a piece of string running across the bottom, running all the way up there, which is obviously showing the line of the fence. And what I've done is I've gone down 4 panels to make sure I've got a straight line, and then by measuring the spirit level on the side there, what you want to do is obviously make sure that the hole's in the middle. Now the post is slightly leaning, but obviously what I'll do is I'll pull that straight. But the important thing is you've got the bottom of the post in the right position, so it's almost level like that. So there you go, there's actually level there. So it's slightly windy, so battling the fence a little bit, and also obviously that way as well, so it needs to be level that way as well. So as soon as you've done that, what I suggest you do then is just kick the bottom of the post like that to make sure it's all into the gravel board and it's hard against the fence panel, and then you're ready to put the water in. So what I suggest you do is get plenty of water. I've got a couple of buckets of water there ready to go. I've also got the rest of the postcrete there just in case I need to put more than 2 bags. It's unlikely, but just in case. This stuff goes off really quickly, so you've got to act quickly. So you need everything that you could possibly need, get it round you so you can act quickly. So what I've got to do now is just pour the water into the hole to about 1/3. So I'm looking at about kind of at the level of that at the bottom there. And then as soon as I've done that, I shall pour in the postcrete. So I'll just position the camera so you can see what I'm doing, because I'm most certainly going to need 2 hands to do this, and I'll just put the postcrete in. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just pour the water in. Try not to disturb the sides as you're doing that, and I've poured that up to about 1/3 of the hole. Just quickly looking to see if the level of the water's going down, and I'm quite lucky it's not going down too much. I'll just pour a little teeny bit more in, like that. And that's probably about half a bucket, but obviously if your hole's a bit bigger than this one, then you know, you're going to need a little bit more water onto a little bit more postcrete. Now what I'm going to do is just literally pour in the postcrete. Make sure you pour it all the way around the hole. And this works by displacement, so as you're pouring it in, what will happen is the actual compound will actually displace the water, and what you're looking for is for it to be dry at the top. Now obviously I'm just sort of working that in a little bit around the top just to make the top meet. Now I've got a little bit of water still there. Now that's already starting to go off, so what I'm going to do is just sprinkle a little bit more around that. In fact, I don't think I need to, I think I've got enough here. It's a little bit wet at the back, so I'm just going to put a bit more compound at the back quickly. And this is why you need both bags open. So just put a little bit in at the back there, and just make absolutely sure that's going in. I'm just going to quickly just work that slightly. You don't really need to work it, and then, as I say, you know, you should have some dry product at the top. Now all I need to do now is wait about 20 minutes for that to go hard. So there you go. I've just put a little bit of earth down the bottom there, just around the bottom of the post. But as you can see, the post is absolutely solid, and this is literally a minute later. So just whilst that's actually setting, I'll just give that about 10 minutes, 15 minutes, then I'll start on the next one. So time for a cup of tea. So just showing you this last hole. If you make a couple of tips, if you make the bottom of the hole flat, then you'll be able to move the bottom of the post around to get the levels right. And basically, what you need to be doing is making sure that the string is just touching, and the actual post is level. And what I've done is just like before, got the spirit level up against the post before I've started any concreting. As you can see there, the post is level, and obviously that'll be moved in just right. I've pushed in the post at the bottom, so I know that's tight up against in there, and so I'm ready for putting the concrete in. So this hole's slightly bigger, and the second tip that I just wanted to say was make sure that you've got that you can see all the way around the post, because obviously what you want is the concrete to go all the way around. Now this post is a little bit bigger. This probably is a foot square, 2 foot deep. So I've got plenty of postcrete, plenty of water, and I've obviously got my my trowel and my Stanley knife to cut the bags open quickly. So I'll do that now. Okay, so I've made sure everything's level. So obviously first thing is in goes the water, and I'm looking to fill the hole, as I say, just over, well, about 1/3 full, like that. And I'm just making sure that the water level's not dropping too much, and obviously just look at the side of where the water is. I know you can't see, but you're just making sure that it's not dropping too much. I'll just put a little bit more in for luck. Now obviously before you start pouring it in, what you want to do is make sure that all of your bags are cut open, and I'm guessing I'm going to need probably almost 2.5 bags of plenty for this. So pouring it in, and what I'm doing is making sure that I pour it in
at the back as well. And obviously as you pour that in, it'll displace the water and the water will come up out the hole. So that's the first bag. Just doing the second bag now. Look, you can still see this is a bit dusty. What I'm doing now is just pushing a bit of that around. Now can you see this is wet? That means I had a little bit too much water, and so I need to keep going. I need to put a bit more on top of that. I don't need too much. That'll do. I'm just going to make sure it's all around the side like that. And what you should end up with, as I say, it should be dry on the top, which means all of the water's been absorbed, and obviously that's reacting. Now before we go any further now, I'm just going to quickly get the spirit level, make sure it's all level. Like that. Now I know the post is level, I'm just going to quickly, that's it, and that's all I need to do. All I need to do now is leave that post to dry, and it literally is as simple as that. So I hope this episode of Jim's Allotment has been some use to you. Please remember that postcrete isn't normal concrete. You can't mix it like normal concrete and put it in the hole. Obviously you need to fill the water in the post and sort of pour it in that way. That's the way to do it. If you do need any further advice, if you buy the tarmac Lafarge or tarmac bags of postcrete, you'll see look for a big blue circle on there, and at the bottom or at the back there'll be the helpline. And you can call these, you can call these guys up, and they'll give you all the advice that you possibly need. They are really useful, and useful tips and help if you're not quite sure. But give it a go, because it is a really good product, and I've used it, as I say, in the past, and it is really good. So if you do have any further questions, please don't hesitate to put any comments you've got below, and I'll always get back to you. And I'll see you on the next episode of Jim's Allotment Garden.